Welcome back, folks, to World of Warships Legends. I'm Soopa-Dave, and today we're taking a look at the Tier 4 German battleship Moltke, I believe. And honestly, this isn't a bad little ship from what I played of it. Now, it is Tier 4, so I didn't sit in it too long, but we did get the one match right away. So for the commander, right, we're going to be using Azulina Prince Heinrich. Otherwise, use any accuracy commander that you would normally use. It'll be just fine. And we have Pablo de Ravel and Colorado as their inspirations, along with Flammable Cannoneer, Gyrating Drill Bits, Master Mechanic, and Fight Fire with Fire. Now, we'll look at the upgrade. You're just going to do Aiming Systems Mod 1. And for your loadouts with this, you do have 5 heals, which is very handy. And you do get an enhanced secondary targeting and a sonar, which at tier 4, a 5.1 sonar, pretty solid, right? Like, that's actually pretty darn good, in my opinion. That's a heck of a sonar at tier 4. And overall, the ship is really solid, in my opinion. 42,000 hit points. You do have only 11-inch guns, but at tier 4, it's not as underwhelming as everything else. Like I would say it's not as underwhelming as Scharnhorst at tier 6. You do have 10 of them, although the turrets are, as you can see here, they're kind of diagonal in the middle. You can fire them both off if you get the right angle, but a lot of times you might only have 8 if you're angling correctly. But they do reload every 21 seconds. Like I said, not a bad ship. I like a lot of ships, but I do like this one. But it is tier 4, so you won't see me in it too often, obviously. Um, the fire chance and HE, not ideal. But I will say the AP seems to be pretty good on this thing. AA defense, I might as well say 0. In my match, you're going to see carriers around me don't shoot nothing down. I don't even think I get one plane shot down the entire match, especially when I get focused at the end. Maneuverability, pretty quick at tier 4 for a battleship, and turning circles not bad, and the rudder's not bad. Pretty fast ship, in my opinion, at tier 4. All right. Also, it says on the overview, secondary reach. I would not build into secondaries on this one. However, on our other ship, I think we're going to be taking a look at tomorrow, you may want to, and that's a tier 3. But anyway, there is a lot of secondaries here, and I guess technically that is above reach for tier 4, but I mean, it's not much. You don't want to build into them, in my opinion. Stats we won't look at. I just have the one match. Now it is tier 4, and you can be overmatched by other battleships. However, you do have this extended belt slash icebreaker, and you're pretty protected in this thing. If you get some plunging fire on you, it can hurt, but outside of that, you're going to be okay. And if you see here, the Citadel is, it's above the water, but it's in a little bit, and it's pretty well protected. So as long as you're not crazy, you'll be fine in this thing. Uh, Not a bad ship at all. And also quick concealment 12-2. It's a battleship. You're not sneaking up on a dead moose in open water. As we start the match, it's disclaimer time. This is a beginner's video meant to help people new to the ship or new to the game. This is not meant for professional gamers that know everything there is to know about everything in the universe. There are multiple ways to play and build this ship, and I am a above average player, not the world's best. I make mistakes. You may see one in this match. You didn't come here for pronunciations. I'm as good as anybody at slaughtering beautiful languages all the time. With that out of the way, we are on Ring. All right. Not my favorite map, obviously. It's a lower tier map when it's not, and it's not fun, in my opinion. But anyway, it's one of the few maps I don't care for. That being said, guys, this is actually a pretty solid ship. My hit accuracy in this match, because I only have one match, is 49%. So you're going to see this thing's relatively accurate, which is a rare thing in the low tiers. And you're going to see it on a few occasions. So right off the bat, we're in a tier 5 lobby. Almost all these ships are going to be tier 5 that we're going up against. And we're going to move up and we're going to realize real quickly here there's going to be a lot of enemies here. Now, with this ship in particular, like with a lot of German battleships, the AP is pretty good. You're not even going to really see me come off of the AP. Now, they're only 11-inch guns, so they're not, like, I guess, DPM monsters, but, I mean, they do reload relatively quick, so definitely not bad. And if you can get 5 guns, if you can get all 5 turrets on the track and on target, you can actually do a significant amount of damage. And you can see here, we definitely look like we're going to get overloaded on this side. There is a bunch of battleships. And only on our side do we have one cruiser helping us against these 3 battleships, the carrier, and a destroyer. So we got to be real careful, not getting overwhelmed. And sure enough, there is some torps. That is one thing I will say about this ship. That sonar, pretty handy. If you guys get this thing out of a crate or wherever you get it, this thing is actually not bad for the tier as far as battleship goes. Even in the one match I had, it's definitely in contention to be one of my favorites. I like the speed of it. The accuracy seems really solid on this thing for tier 4. Again, not necessarily a DPM monster, but you're going to see me hold my own in a tier 5 match, right? Like, are we going to blow apart the lobby? Not really, because you're going to see me angle and be real careful. But again, at distance, you can see we're hitting a lot of our shells. Alright, so New Mexico is going to be trailing us pretty much for a while now here. We got to be careful on our side. Actually, our cruiser is going to do a very good job. I'm not sure who this was, but this cruiser is going to do a real good job of not getting murdered really quick, which can be really hard to do at, them lower tiers. It doesn't take much. You don't have a lot of health, and pretty much everything at that tier can be citadeled very quickly. But we know there is probably a destroyer over here, obviously, so we're being careful and we're trying to change direction. And also, we are getting chased, so we want to kite away until we can get rid of that problem. As we do have the New Mexico behind us, and the New York did actually turn in there, so we did miss some of the shells. But one thing I want to say, though, for people wondering about this ship that just want a quick exclamation or explanation on it, AP's okay for what it is. Accuracy really good for the tier, and it's a pretty quick battleship, and that in itself can make it a lot of fun at the tier, because everything at tier 4, a lot at 5 are slow battleships, and you're not really going to have that many fast ones. But I'm pretty used to dreadnoughts, so speed isn't the end of the world, but when you do have it, it is a lot of fun. As you're going to see here, we're going to turn back into New Mexico now that a lot of them other battleships have decided to go away. And we're going to start hitting them. Now, are we getting a million citadels? Absolutely not. But you can see where I'm aiming, and that's kind of what you want to aim at with this. You're going to want to aim high, try to get, superstructure, side plating. You don't want the waterline belt. It's going to be hard to penetrate through a lot of that. But you can see a big chunk of damage there. Having 8 of our 10 shells hit, which is really nice at the tier, I can assure you that. Now look, Fubuki, right here. We're going to actually take a shot at him, and you're going to see what I mean. The accuracy, pretty solid, right? We're going to go ahead. It's 11.5 kilometers at tier 4, and we hit 6 of our 10 shells on a destroyer. Now, I'm not going to say you're going to do that every time, because that's not going to happen. But I'm just saying the accuracy is definitely there. And we took about half of that destroyer's health with one salvo. And as you can see, our cruiser buddy has in fact, done well enough to stay alive for as long as he did. There was a fair amount of shooting at him, and the Fubuki does end up taking him down. And we know the destroyer is over there, as we're going to make sure New Mexico is gone. We're going to go ahead and kite away, or get away from the destroyer. There's no reason to stay there. And the carrier has been around me. You can see this here now, especially at end. The AA is rough on this ship, and that's where this thing does pay. And this thing, it will hurt you if you get focused by a carrier. There's not a lot you're gonna be doing. That is just a fact, and we're gonna try to help get rid of these guys back here. But like I said, definitely. I know it's only tier 4, but I do actually enjoy this ship for what it is. It feels. I don't know, it feels different than all the other tier 4s. You can see we get a little unlucky on the Fubuki. It looks like he does stop there, and we do spray around him a little bit. But we want to close in on these guys back here. Maybe even get to that carrier, because of that carrier, if you're in this and you get a shot at a carrier, you almost have to take it over everything else, except for maybe a destroyer, you know? Because the carriers are gonna, I can definitely tell you, the carriers are gonna light you up in this thing. And you can see we have a pretty close game here. Fubuki stuck on the side. We're actually gonna go ahead and line up a shot on him, and you're gonna see we're gonna get again another couple shells to hit. You know, so again, the accuracy for shooting at destroyers. You know, We've taken a few shots at destroyers in this match and end up with a 50% accuracy. I think it's 49 actually. 49% accuracy. Pretty solid. I'm not going to say it's punching way above its weight or nothing, but it's a solid ship. And we're going to take another 3 shells and put it on them too. So again, you're kind of seeing, even with these shots on the destroyers, they're, you know, it's pretty darn accurate. Now, here we're going to take a blind fire. We pretty sure he's stuck on the side there. Not much we could do at the moment. Just take a guess on the shot and take it. Carrier's after me, and I've still not shot down a plane. This has no AA. It's Arkansas AA, guys, essentially. And we do use our radar, our sonar at the right time. Guessing we probably were going to have issues. And now you will see the one thing about this ship here is we're going to start shooting at servo. One interesting thing about this ship here, guys, the dispersion seems, it definitely seems relatively accurate, but it does seem like it has a vertical dispersion, meaning side to side, right? And when we get this carrier from the front, you're going to see our dispersion. It seems to spread out a little bit instead of being up and down. And we're going to probably miss some shots that had the carrier, you know, if we had taken a better angle at the carrier. I was trying to get rid of the destroyer. You see, here we hit 7 out of 10 shells, but when that carrier gets skinny, as I eat a torp like an idiot here, you know, you're gonna get harder shots, or I mean the shots you're gonna see we're gonna start to miss here. Another thing is the limited damage cons, which could be a problem at a very fire spammy tier 3 or tier 4. At 5 it could have some issues too, but you know, they're limited damage cons. You kind of get used to them if you've done them before, and you won't end up having too much of an issue with that, I don't feel, as long as you're careful. We did do a pretty good job of saving ours. And we're going to go ahead and try to hit servo again. But you can see here, we only hit 1 shell there. Again, you know, dispersion, or the accuracy on this ship, pretty good. But it is actually, you know, a ship gets narrow at any tier, especially tier 4. It's going to be a little bit harder to hit him. Now, we barely make it here. And you see this whole time that he's been focused on us, we didn't shoot a plane down. So again, limited damage cons and the really limited damage constant aircraft carriers are going to be your biggest problem, in my opinion. And then after that, we just take control of the cap, and we actually outrace the one destroyer that is in our cap to go ahead and get a win. But anyway, not a bad ship. Kind of unique for the tier. I feel it has a different feel to it. But we definitely helped our team win with a solid game. Top of the leaderboard, and we were definitely bottom tier in that, and we held our own. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time, folks. Have a good one.